Some people as of late have been concerned about my behavior. This is not something that's concerned with your concern. This is not the business or according to the understanding of ordinary people and conventional thinking. Our dear friend Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, and he didn't start a meditation center in Melbourne to serve the people of the village. He excommunicated himself from the world of normal people, ordinary people. He oftentimes spoke against being around worldly people. And so if you're going to come up here and make a comment about how I've lost my mind, or how I don't know anything about Buddhism, or I've gone in a wrong direction, that's fine, but you may be more off-center than you understand. For those who don't know, I was a Buddhist monk for 7 years. I've trained with a lot of meditation masters. I've lived in community, in monasteries, with other monks for many, many years, for hundreds and thousands of hours. I've met hundreds and thousands of monks. This is not something that I take lightly as far as to complain about situations. And there's a very short line, if not a non-existent line, for people to help. So as my great old teacher used to say, either shut up, help, or get out of the way. Don't be so arrogant and prideful to think that your opinion, your judgment, your complaint, your ego-driven comment on the way that I appear is somehow helping anyone. It's just your ego uncontrolled. The true mind stops delusion. We're not here talking about what makes a monk, what's a real monk. We're not here talking about politics. I'm not here selling a course to teach you how to be very informed about Buddhism like I am, and how to be very informed about Buddhist monasticism like I am. This is a mind training. The true mind stops delusion. Now, why would it be important to stop delusion? Why would it matter for our heads not to be full of bullshit? Well, that delusion, or that wrong thinking, or that unstable, untrue belief leads us into unskillful behaviors and activities that harm not just ourselves, but also harm others, especially harm our children. When we have a society that does not recognize delusion, that doesn't even know what the word means, we have a society that allows delusion to fester, to multiply, to propagate, and then those delusions are transmitted and handed down to the children. It may be asked, if we are ordinary people as long as the true mind is in delusion, how can we get it out of delusion to attain enlightenment? Now, what is that true mind? Well, I'd say it's to really be aware. It's to see things the way they are. It's to have an intimate, deep, meaningful, expansive, wise experience of reality as it is, rather than how it appears to be. Now, just because you want to be an astronaut doesn't mean you're going to go to space. So we can be patient with this extrapolating of the view of what true mind is. But let's just say it's the mind of freedom. It's the mind that is what the mind really is, rather than what the mind appears to be. No limits, no desires, no fears, no delusions, no complicated bullshit. So it may be asked, if we are ordinary people, as long as the true mind is in delusion, how can we get it out of delusion to attain enlightenment? So if we are in a state of delusion, if we are in a state of wrong thinking, of wrong perception, believing something to be true that is not true, let's say, how can we get out of that wrong thinking? How can we get out of that delusion to freedom or to enlightenment or to pure awareness? To answer this, let us cite an ancient saying. When the deluded mind is nowhere, this is enlightenment. When the deluded mind is nowhere, this is enlightenment. Now this may sound complicated. This may sound confusing, but actually it is quite ordinary, quite normal, quite practical. When the suffering is not there, where is it? When your thoughts about the world are not there, then where is the world? It's not there. We have become finagled into role-playing as universal cosmic space understanders, beings of infinite understanding and conceptual knowing. And this is simply not the situation that we are actually in as human beings. What did Barney say? Barney said, "You're a dumb monkey, I'm a dumb monkey. We're all dumb monkeys right here, so let's listen to the Buddha's true teaching. Suffering, let's go away." Scripture says, people's illusory body perishes, so the illusory mind also perishes. Because the illusory mind perishes, illusory objects also perish. Because illusory objects perish, illusory perishing perishes. Now this is to say that what does not appear is not there. Controversial, I know. What you assume up, or what is assumed up, or what is appearing from the impermanence of everything that has ever appeared. Your experience as a human being is primarily based in impermanence, not solidity of objects, people, places, situations, experiences, etc. Your head would be too full. Your mind would be too full. if all these things somehow had a solidity to them. So it is a endeavor just as realistic as taking a spaceship out into space to try and find something that was once lost. You trying to find the thought that you had yesterday is just as realistic as you getting into a spaceship and trying to find an object in space that was lost. It is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I'm a selfish person when it comes down to it. That's why I'm not a monk anymore. Hup! Because illusory perishing perishes, that which is not illusory does not perish. Comes directly back. When the deluded mind is nowhere, this is enlightenment. The problem is that you are looking for something. The problem is that you think there is something for you to understand. There is something for you to get a hold of. There is something for you to figure out or to manage, either in a material way of getting a good job, having a good bank account, having good relationships, having good material objects, having a retirement plan, etc. Or you have this idea that there's some kind of spiritual thing to get. It's just subject objectivity. It's just this seeking for an object, like a tadpole seeking for a mosquito larva, like a crack addict looking for the crack pipe. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing real about it. It's just an appearance of seeking. So this appearance of seeking doesn't just apply to spirituality and wanting to be enlightened and trying to sit and meditate and do that kind of thing. It applies to everything in your life. And the Buddha laid this out very clearly. He said, look, dummy. I don't know if he said that. He definitely felt it. Why didn't he live in the city? The Buddha is supposed to be hot shit. The Buddha is supposed to be the best of us, the most enlightened guy that's around. So why didn't he live in a little castle in the city and all his friends could come around? Because people are dumb. You're stupid. I'm stupid. Ordinary people are stupidity. Now, the Buddha said, look, buddy, primarily there is suffering. The first truth that you have to recognize now, not in your bullshit idea of your life, not in the bullshit idea of Luke Hawk's life, whoever that guy is, or Luke McKeon, whoever that guy is, that says I'm embarrassing myself. The idea of your life is just as real as any idea of anybody's life. It's just something assumed up. It's just something created up. There's no depth to it. There's no real truth to it. So, on the path of enlightenment, of now, of starting now, again, these infinite nows that are happening again and again, you can't even comprehend it. How infinitely, moment by moment, now is happening, right? There is suffering, primarily, not what you think about things. And the cause of that suffering is that there appears to be a subject seeking an object. There's not actually subjectivity or objectivity in Nibbana. That's why Nibbana is a realization or a recognition of the way that it is rather than an attainment. We're constantly attaining things. We're constantly getting things. We're constantly becoming things. Becoming the one who wakes up. Becoming the one who makes a judgment about themselves. Becoming the one who is dirty or clean. Becoming the one who's doing better or worse. Becoming the one who's worried or hopeful. Always becoming, becoming, becoming. There is also an end of suffering, and then there's a path to ending suffering. So we could say that there is a path to ending paths. There is a path to ending seeking, ending the way of desire, ending the way of this subject-object game mentality of seeking something, of thinking about something. This is the very nature of the deluded mind. The nature of the deluded mind is the mind that seeks. Subject-object seeking is the nature of the deluded mind. So, it may be asked, if we are ordinary people, as long as the true mind is in delusion, how can we get it out of delusion to attain enlightenment? To answer this, let us cite an ancient saying. When the deluded mind is nowhere, this is enlightenment. Can you raise your capacity? Can you raise your faith? Can you raise your concern? Honestly, I'm not fucking around with you here, not trying to play a little Christian whatever game with you here. I'm saying this directly. Can you raise your capacity to not be someone? Can you raise your capacity to not be doing something? Can you raise your degree of openness about not being somewhere? About not clenching into the screen and clenching into the comment and clenching into the listening? Can you do that? And the truth is that you can. The truth is that it's not very difficult to do that. The difficulty is in getting the causes and conditions together to be able to receive this transmission of Dharma, or common speak, common sense when it comes to suffering. Why are you suffering? Because you're seeking for something. Why are you suffering? Because you're trying to avoid something. Why are you suffering? Because you is based in deluded mind. You is based in seeking after something, thinking about something, avoiding something. So we bring up the mindset, we bring up the perspective of breathing and not being someone, as if we don't know how to turn off a bad movie. As if we don't know how to not believe in political bullshit. As if we don't know how to stop thinking about egoic judgments. People talk about what they need to do, where they need to go, what they need to think about, who they need to be. My friend, you have been born, and now the only thing that you need to do is to die. People die all the time. People die every day. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people die every day. People end their own lives every day. Hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people end their own lives every day. Now, this isn't about you. This isn't about me. This is about the law, the truth of death. It's a lot more real than your TikTok algorithm, my friend. The true mind stops delusion. It may be asked, if we are ordinary people, as long as the true mind is in delusion, how can we get it out of delusion to attain enlightenment? As long as the true mind is in suffering, How can we get it out of suffering to attain enlightenment? To answer this, let us cite an ancient saying. When the suffering mind is nowhere, this is enlightenment. Deluded is even a better word here because sometimes we don't seem to know that we're suffering, but we can be very clear, or the awareness of others can be very clear that we're in a state of delusion. We're in a state of non-practical, complicated thinking. We're doing things we don't want to suffer, and yet we're doing things that cause us to suffer more. So that is a deluded mind, or a non-practical, complicated mind. When the deluded mind is nowhere, this is enlightenment. Scripture says, people's illusory body perishes. People's illusory body perishes. Now let me ask you a question right now. Would you like to put on a VR headset that was super lightweight and just like hooked into your eyes, and put on a full body VR suit and be in like a matrix simulation where you could feel everything and you could see everything and you could interact with anything? Like you could feel when somebody punches you and that kind of thing, over your whole body. Who here would like that? Who here would be interested in an experience like that? Imagine if you could have an experience like that. Sound interesting? Sound interesting or not? Of course it does. You don't need to answer. So it would not sound interesting if you were already experiencing that. If we were already experiencing this full body experience, this full body experience of the whole body being in this kind of virtual reality where we could feel everything and see everything and experience everything, there would be no interest in having that kind of experience. So the body that you know as your body is an illusory body. It's an imagined body. It's a thought body. It's not a true body. It's not your real body. Just like, for example, when you rub your fingers together like this, when you rub your fingers together like this, how does that feel? Try it. Try rubbing your fingers together like this. That's a very direct, immediate, clear experience, right? Yes? Yes or no? Can you feel the sensations here? Now, compare the directness of that experience, which you would say, this is my body, this is my tingly experience, this is my real body experiencing. Does your whole body feel anything like that at all? It's not even comparable. You notice a feeling in the leg, you notice a feeling in the back, you notice a feeling in the neck, you notice a tingling there, you notice a warmth there. There's no such thing as this real true body that you're experiencing all the time. It's a moment by moment movements of sensations of different places. So, close your eyes, sit up straight, look inside and try to see what your experience of the body is. Not through thinking, replace thinking with breathing. You may be able to see very quickly that your body is not actually there. Your body is an illusion. Your body is a thought. Your body is an idea, a belief. So, in this world of suffering, this true mind stops delusion. This true mind stops suffering. When the deluded mind is nowhere, this is enlightenment. Scripture says, people's illusory body perishes, so the illusory mind also perishes. When this body of illusion disappears, the mind that thinks that it has a body disappears. Because this mind that thinks it has a body disappears, illusory objects disappear. Basically, objects disappear. The notion of objects, the notion of things disappears. And because these illusory objects disappear, illusory perishing perishes. So the idea of something disappearing is also psychotic, is also illusory. So this deluded mind is a mind of delusion. This deluded mind is a mind of confusion. Chineth, focus on your breathing. Sit up straight. Focus. You're getting carried away by your fellow degenerate teenage boys, okay? Chineth, Azirafat. Alert observation. When doing the inner work, you always cut off thoughts and prevent thoughts from arising. The instant a thought arises, you immediately break through it by awakeness. Do I need to repeat myself? Do I need to repeat myself? Alert observation. When doing the inner work, you always cut off thoughts and prevent thoughts from arising. The instant a thought arises, you immediately break through it by awakeness. Break through thoughts with awakeness. Welcome new members. Welcome new community members here. Stop. Continue focusing on your breathing. When errant thoughts are broken through by awakeness, following thoughts do not arise. Then you no longer need this awakening knowledge. When confusion and awakening are both forgotten, this is called mindlessness. Having no mind, being no body, being nowhere, doing nothing. Therefore, a master teacher said, do not fear thoughts arising. Just be wary of being slow to become aware of it. Basically, it is like there is a process of habit energy inside of your own mind that is manipulating you. It's like a dream machine in your brain. Not actually in your brain, but it seems like that, right? That is manipulating your wakefulness, manipulating your awareness, manipulating your Buddha nature or your awareness nature. It is like a brain infection or parasites of the brain or a slowly growing tumor. So to cut off these errant thoughts is to train in the inner work. Listen, we're here to have a good time, but we're not here to be dumb. There's enough places online to be dumb, isn't there? Noah, don't act like you're sitting here next to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Make it clear what you're saying. Share your experience. Don't be ridiculous. Okay? I don't like this idea that there's some kind of guided meditation or some kind of formal teaching or talk to help you see your nature or feel good or somehow trust me as a teacher. This is happening now. This is happening according to the cause and conditions of now. If you're not here, then you're nowhere. And that's what you should be doing, being nowhere, being no one, not thinking about anything. I can go onto this live stream and I can say, look, don't think about anything. Don't think about anything. Don't think about anything. Don't think about anything. And that's good. Now, for the Christians, who wants to hear my latest Christian work? Who's interested to know my latest Christian work? Well, that makes one of us because I'm not interested to hear it. Objects disappear while mind remains. When you work, you view all objects, both internal and external, as totally null and void. Just keeping one mind alone and independent. This is about not believing in anything. Right, Kai? Right, Chanath? Right, Donnie? Right, Marissa? Isn't that what you were told? Isn't that what you've been taught? Objects disappear while mind remains. This is your training. This is your practice. Okay? When you work, you view all objects, both internal, could be thoughts, internal thoughts, could be internal sensations in the body, like you feel happy, you feel sad, you feel hopeful, you feel depressed, whatever. Objects disappear while mind remains. This is the training. When you work, you view all objects, both internal and external, as totally null and void. Just keeping one mind alone and independent. This one mind of awareness, that's fine. But just take it intuitively. Take it accessibly. Work with it, and then your terminology or your access to a deeper view about it will pervade, will grow, will present itself to you. Don't get stuck up in the words about it. Thus, an ancient said, do not be a partner to myriad things. Do not relate to the sense data. Don't be a partner to myriad things. Don't relate to the sense data. Do not believe anything. If mind sticks to objects, now do not believe anything is more of a familial teaching, something heart to heart, mind to mind. Dr. Rob saying that to his dear friend, okay? Don't believe in anything. Don't get lost in beliefs. Don't get lost in thoughts. But what this ancient one said, don't be a partner to myriad things, means be independent as awareness wherever you are. It's not about believing or not believing. Don't relate to the sense data. Nothing means anything. This is a ultra marathon for the mind rather than the body. Do not identify with anything. Things are happening and that's got nothing to do with you. or that's got nothing to do with awareness. Awareness is kind of a dull word, but we get the point, and then it depends on how much you practice with it. It doesn't matter about the presentation, how I present myself, or how some other teacher presented themselves, or how a meditation retreat is conducted and all that. It doesn't mean shit for you, for me. Because this is not something that anybody would really want. Because it's pointing out a lot deeper than how dumb you are. It's pointing out how soon you're going to die and that you were never born to begin with. It cancels out all your positions of authority. It cancels out all your positions of understanding and control. It cancels out all your positions of holding anything, of being anybody. You don't just sit there coming up with questions. You focus, Marissa. You need to train your focus. Focus, 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 focus. So that you can realize, you can see, you can experience this awareness or this true you, this real you, that doesn't have anything to do with focusing or not focusing. If mind sticks to objects, Marissa, the mind is confused. Now, if there are no objects, what confusion can there be? Then the true mind shines alone, not obstructed from the way. This is what an ancient master teacher called removing objects but not the subject. Thus it is said, going into the garden, you find the flowers have already fallen, but horses and carriages still fill the place. It is also said, 3,000 sand warriors, where are they now? I only consider Changzhu able to establish great peace. This is working on stopping delusion by letting objects disappear while mind remains. Stopping delusion by allowing objects to disappear while mind remains. That's a damn good coffee. Going back to what was said on alert observation, when doing the inner work, you always cut off thoughts and prevent thoughts from arising. The instant a thought arises, you immediately break through it by awakeness. That is what we are working with and working through here. Right? Marissa, that's answered right here. Listen closely. It is said, 3,000 sand warriors, where are they now? I only consider Changzhu able to establish great peace. This is working on stopping delusion by letting objects disappear while mind remains. Letting objects disappear while awareness remains. You go core. Focus on your breathing. Sharpen your sword. You have a dull mind. You have a dull mind with the mind virus, okay? The Indian mind virus or the Arabic mind virus or whatever mind virus, the Eastern European mind virus, that's the worst of all. These people can barely speak. Listen to me. Yes, Marissa. Allowing objects to disappear, such as the concept or the words that were just brought up, allowing them to disappear while awareness remains, while mind remains, so as to stop delusion of clinging onto thoughts. Now, I want to give a teaching for my students, for my followers. Don't debate with anybody. Do not fall into any trap. Someone says they like spirituality. All you've got to say is go fuck yourself. Okay? You debate with me. The moment you can debate with me and you feel like you've gotten over on me and you've overcome me, then you go around and you look for other people to debate with. Okay? Some of these spiritual people and non-dual people are the connivingest, nastiest, stupidest, craziest people in the world. They wouldn't pick you up off the ground if you were on fire. Okay? Do not try to debate with anybody and do not try to discuss with anybody about spirituality in general. It is a hopeless, hopeless case, hopeless work. If you do it, you can do it with a lot of levity and as an exploration, but I recommend you don't do it. It's just not going to work. Okay? It's not going to work. Go around debating, arguing. It's not going to work. Mind and objects both disappear. When you work, first you make external objects empty and silent. Then you extinguish your inner mind. That sounds a little bit more advanced to me. So, this is not an advanced class. This is not an advanced course. This is not done for the sake of the recording. This is done for the sake of the now. Well, are we going to end the live stream right here? What are we going to do? Are the teachings over? Did the teachings ever really begin? Where were you 5 minutes ago, not answering with your intellect, as if you're some kind of story writer? Where are you going to be 5 minutes from now? Without using words and phrases to answer it. Are you going to be in a book 5 minutes from now? A 10,000 clip donation. 10,000. Do not get caught up. Do not allow that juice machine inside of yourself to work you up. You are aware. Aware and detached, aware and letting objects pass away. This live stream is not about anybody particularly. It says there's more than 10 people watching this live stream. Any of those 10 people, it's not about you specifically. It's not for you specifically. It doesn't have anything to do with you personally. At all. And you have no right or you have no special training to be able to inherently or automatically understand this, even though you might like to. Like you may have a preference to know what this is and to understand what's going on here, but that doesn't mean that you do. So this is also a kind of honesty that we're practicing here. People say, I look dumb, right? People say, I look crazy. Go and look at the world. Go and look at your mind. This is the least of the world's problems. I can guarantee you that. This is the least of your problems, your worries and concerns. I can guarantee you that. Now, we like to get worked up. We like to be angry. We like to be greedy. We like to have some kind of thought-based narrative to be involved with, to be a part of. Do not give in to that. Do not get involved with that. Quiet, quiet, quiet. You don't let me meditate because, for one, you're not generous enough. And for two, the people who are supposed to be following along closely and meditating with me, the moment that I start to meditate, they say, oh, this is my time to show them that I have a green username and a blue username. I need you to meditate, to set an example spiritually on the spiritual realm for the other people here and for me. Because when I go into meditation and then I look over and I see Shelley's writing a poem and Shanath's talking to some person who's coming in out of nowhere, right? And also forgiveness. And Kai's going in here playing his little didgeridoo in the middle of our guided meditation class. Okay. And Yugo Core is asking, what's meditation and how do I breathe? And Chanath's saying, well, the first thing that you do is how do we breathe? We don't even have an answer to that. How do you breathe? You don't know. I don't know how to breathe. If someone asked me how to breathe, how would you answer that? Hello? You don't know how to breathe. Me neither. That's why that's pretty good, Ignatia. That's why when a baby comes out of a woman's vagina, that's where babies come from, okay? Babies come out of women's vaginas, just FYI. When a baby comes out of a woman's vagina and is just sitting there like a retard, not breathing, no offense, I'm working on my anger issues, okay? And that baby comes out and it's not breathing, we don't get a textbook out and say, okay, how does he breathe? They just start punching that little baby in the chest. Have you ever seen that? Everybody thinks they're a philosopher. Everybody wants to be an entertainer. Everybody wants to be a podcaster. Everybody wants to be this big special idiot. I tell you, sometimes I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see the most idiotic, stupid people in the human planet that are sharing this earth with me. But if someone came up to you and said, how do you breathe? You wouldn't even know how to answer them. Breathing just happens. It just happens. That's because this body is not your body, and you are not what you believe yourself to be. Period. Cigarettes are great. Cigarettes are fantastic. I mean, is that supposed to be taboo to say? There you go, JK59. Are you just going to say that nonsense, or are you going to make a big donation, JK59? I'm working on my anger. I'm working on my greed. The smell of cigarettes is not good, but smoking cigarettes, fantastic. I'm working on my anger, I'm working on my greed, and I'm working on my delusion's not too bad compared to what's going on here on YouTube, the people that we're dealing with. But my anger and my greed are out of control. And that's my problem. Okay? I'm not saying that I'm smoking cigarettes. So when I do that, when I kind of turn my head a little bit and I hold my staff like this a little bit, and I look over here and I kind of, that means you meditate every time, okay? So you meditate with me so that that energy is here, so that we can share that energy. So I don't have to be walking around all the time hitting everybody on the head to restart and refresh their little brains. Now, it is like polishing a mirror. When the dirt is gone, the clarity appears. So allowing all of your thoughts about things to disappear, allowing all of your involvements with things to disappear, allows the clarity of what's actually going on, which is not thought-based or story-based, just like how a door isn't word-based, to become resonant or to become apparent, right? So there's an apparent way that it is right now that's not based on your delusion, not based on your suffering, not based on your confusion, not based on the past, not based on the future, not based on anything. It's a suchness. When the deluded mind does not appear, that is enlightenment. When the deluded mind is nowhere to be found, that is enlightenment. When suffering is nowhere to be found, from a view of clarity, not your ego craziness, that is enlightenment. You don't need to answer the question. The answer to the question is breathing. 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 Right? How do you breathe? Just breathe. That's how you breathe. Show it. Don't think about it. Show your support. Don't think about your support. Who cares? You think about it. Jung Chia also said, mind is the sense, phenomena are the object. Both are like flaws in a mirror. When the flaws and dirt are gone, only then does the light show. When mind and phenomena are both forgotten, essential nature is real. This refers to getting out of delusion and attaining reality. Forget everything. Forget everything. and forget the thing that remembers or forgets. That awareness, that person that's aware, that sense, that capability to be aware of your mind, that capability to think is a flaw. Just like the person, the place, the situation, the experience, the story, the object, the new iPhone 17 Pro Max. Anybody here got the new iPhone 17 Pro Max? Is also a flaw in a mirror that isn't even there. Things being there is flaws. Things are flaws. In flawlessness, there's no such thing as flawlessness. In thinglessness, there's no such thing as thinglessness. That is the nuclear power of contradictions. So we're working with contradictions here. We're not shying away from contradictions. We're not using our normal or usual way of logic and reasoning. Your normal and usual way of logic and reasoning is what leads you to invest in the stock market and then lose your entire life savings, or get a bunch of money and become the next Jake Paul. You can't really say that one's better or worse. There are a lot of different ways that you can donate and support in these projects and these works. You can leave a like. You can share this video. You can make edits of this video. When I post shorts or when I post YouTube videos, you can leave a comment. Remember, Looney Crow, who holds the staff? We have to stay very clear on that, right? Who holds the staff? Don't be a dummy. We're not having a discussion. You're gonna get me angry, you fucking retard. We're not having a discussion. You're not an invited speaker. You're not a guest. You're not someone who I saw in the podium and said, wow, not only is he attractive, but he's intelligent too. And I brought you up. I brought you up to the stage, right? To have a discussion in front of everybody. You shut up and you go and sit down and you be quiet, or you'll be removed from the auditorium. Listen to this. See if you can resonate at all with this. Just listen with your breathing. Just listen with your concentration. Mind is the sense. Like you have eyes to see, right? That's one of your senses. Your eyes, right, is a sense. Or your body is a sense, the feeling. You can feel things. You can experience things through the body. Mind is the sense. Phenomena are the object, okay? Do you understand that? What is phenomena? Anybody know what phenomena is? Two kinds of phenomena that exist, nama and rupa, mentality and materiality, okay? So the new iPhone 17 Pro Max, and I wouldn't mind if we have a donor, if we have a major supporter in here that says, look, Rob, I want to support you for the long term, but right now I just want to put that iPhone 17 Pro Max in your hand. That's the person who's going to be invited up to the stage. Anyway, that's a material phenomena, right? Materiality. And my thought about that, or my desire for that, or whatever is existing in that thought form is mentality. So nama and rupa, materiality and mentality. Do you understand that? So there's two kinds of phenomena, materiality, and a thought about this is mentality. So mind is the sense. Just like your eye is a mind, the eye of the mind, the awareness of the mind is a sense. All phenomena, indiscriminately, whether they are physical or mental, are the object. Both are like flaws in a mirror. So the sense of seeing and the objects that are seen are flaws in a mirror, or missteps in truth. When the flaws and dirt are gone, so when subjectivity and objectivity is gone, when material and mental is gone, only then does the light show, the pure light of the mind, the true nature of the mind, the Buddha nature of the mind. When mind and phenomena are both forgotten, essential nature is real. This refers to getting out of delusion and attaining reality. Now, not everybody is interested, newsflash, not everybody is interested in attaining reality and getting out of delusion. For whatever reason, people tend to be quite comfortable, or they believe themselves to be quite comfortable in their delusions. And it's kind of a balancing act, right? You're a functioning alcoholic, but you're not so bad of a situation that you're on the street. You see what I'm saying? So it's a balancing act. This is to stand on top of the staff of truth, to look down into the inside of it, and to say, I will not be manipulated by thoughts. I will not be manipulated by the awareness of thoughts. I will not be manipulated by, I will not be manipulated into awareness. And if we don't have a kind of concentration, then there's a sense of dullness that pervades the clarity of the sky. So the concentration is like the potency of light that makes the clouds spread out and dissipate. So that true light, or that true blue sky, or that true clear mind of awareness, of egolessness, of no self, is always there behind the clouds. But when we don't have this sense of sharpness or closeness or immediacy, access to immediacy, then those clouds do not dissipate on their own. And that's why we go through these cycles of storms. You're not just depressed or anxious for a day, or worrying about a thought for a day. It's a week, it's a month, it's a year. It defines your life. You see what I'm saying? The true mind stops delusion. Chuang Tzu said, the mind is hotter than fire, colder than ice. It is so fast that it covers all beyond the four seas in the moment of a nod. When at rest, it is profoundly calm. Its action gushes forth from nature. Such is the human mind. This is Taoist Master Chuang Tzu's earlier explanation of the intractability of the human mind. It may be asked, what means does Zen use to quell the errant mind? The answer to this is that we use the means of no mind to quell the errant mind. So this is very specifically a teaching, a community, an environment, a directive operas mundi of those people who are daring and willing to use no mind to quell the errant mind. If you are unwilling, undaring, uninterested, unconcerned in using no mind, then you have wandered into the wrong alleyway and you have encountered the wrong Zen monk. It may be asked, If people are mindless, they are the same as plants and trees. So let us have some expedient method of applying the teaching of mindlessness. To this, it may be replied that when we speak of mindlessness, we do not mean mindlessness as absence of the substance of mind. When there are no things on the mind, that is called mindlessness. Can you imagine? Can you bring to the foray of your attention the notion of not having things on the mind? Or do they not teach that in 2.5 Men? As if we must be relegated to the teachings of Jim Carrey and Sharon Salzberg and Mark Zuckerberg in 2.5 Men. It's just a TV show. It's just an idea. It's just a story. So can we not bring up to the mind Yugo core instead of being confused by the generals asking questions? You know what the question says? It says, shut that mouth and make a donation. How'd you even get in here? Can we entertain the idea of not having things on the mind, of a mind without things, of awareness, as a dirty and ugly word as that is? I will have to go into the Analects and try to find out a more appropriate word. Of a mind without things. And then, from the platform of a mind without things, as a true Buddhist, we do not justify our self-based thinking. We do not justify our greed, anger, delusion-based thinking, but rather we practice generosity. We practice kind speech. We practice mindfulness, which is kind of a true blue virtue. We practice cultivation. We attain to detachment, to wisdom, to the Sotapanna stage. We don't front and bluff like Luke. A fake Buddhist. Don't be a fake Buddhist, be a real one. Now, do you see this staff? If you see it, then you are blind. If you do not see it, then you are dumb. So what is it? Are you blind or are you dumb? When there are no things on the mind, that is called mindlessness. No excuses. This live stream is here so that you will have no excuses. Do you understand that? Now, when there are no things on the mind, that is called mindlessness. It is like an empty jar being called an empty jar because it has nothing in it, not because the substance of the jar itself isn't there. So a master teacher said, Just have no things in your mind and no mind in things. You will naturally be empty and spiritual, serene and sublime. This is the essence of mind. Based on this, the pragmatic meaning of mindlessness is that there is no deluded, errant mind, not that there is no subtle function of true mind. The mind of delusion has come to rest. The mind of awareness shines with prominence. You may think that this is a game. You may think that this is fake. You may think that this is real and great. Thoughts about things are off the table, but donations come and go freely. This staff goes up to heaven and snaps Jesus' nose in half, while the other side swims and swirls and goes down into hell and turns the troubles of toil. This is the staff of Buddha's shtick, and Alexis non-duality wouldn't be able to hold it if her life depended on it. No, it doesn't show who joins. Is it an expression of a city? Very well, maybe. Let's let the record show that we have a report of a city in this live stream. Luke Hawks is making the claim that moments after he joined the live stream, I spoke the name Luke, and I directed attention towards the energetic framework of Luke. As you know, this would be considered a psychic phenomena, more so than a coincidence, and we can put that down into the records. Chinath, you make a note of that, all right? Teachers of the past have given various different kinds of explanations of doing exercises in mindlessness. Now, Alexis non-duality would have you believe that a slovenly life of shitting in your bed and pissing on your sheets and eating out of garbage cans is the true teaching of non-duality. Well, I've got news for you, Alexis. You shit your pants if you want to. I'm going to teach the Buddha Dharma. And you better be careful that you don't come across my path, because I'll show you what real non-duality looks like and what real non-duality feels like. The pain is starting to get the best of me. The pain in my leg. I also have to pee. Donations are accepted through PayPal. We also have a Patreon. And the real treat for our American donors, I just got this notification in the mail, and it reminded me of all my donors and supporters over the years. It says, it's an email from Bank of America. It says, make their day, send money with Zelle. Look at that. Make their day, send money with Zelle. And that's a great way for low fees to make serious donations, large donations. Let me know, Nico, what's going on? That sounds awesome, Nico. Maybe you'll be the one to give me my first tattoo. But I'm not gonna get my tattoo from somebody who doesn't have some enlightenment. Rose, it's just a way that you can donate is through Zelle. I think that's only in America, but that's a great way to donate. Low fees, straight from bank account to bank account. How has everybody liked today's teachings? Let's get some big W's in the chat, everybody. How have the teachings resonated today? Have you got to taste some enlightenment? Have you got to taste some real good stuff? PayPal's okay too, Rose. I'll stand by on my email. What's this thing with like justified negativity or justified animosity or justified exceptionalism? Look, I've been given a Dharma talk or as classically as I can for 1 hour, and then Luke's going to come in. I'm actually not talking about you, Luke. I'm talking about another Luke that's supposed to be this real Buddhist guy in Australia. And he went on one of my live streams or commented on my video. He said, "This is just embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself." Do not do that, Kai. Kai's always interrupting me. then you come in here after I've been given a formal Dharma talk for an hour, and now's the time for me to feel pain in my knee and do my Buddha shtick massage, and now you're going to come in and make a judgment about me and the low quality of my work. Doesn't make any sense. All right, Jack. My Jack is an awesome Jack. He came from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our Jack is an awesome Jack. Our Jack is an awesome Jack. He came from heaven above to spread his opinion around. Our Jack is an awesome Jack. Okay, we're getting more donations coming in. Keep those donations coming, everybody. This is our donation round, donation time. We've officially raised $10 of donations today. Let's get some more donations coming in. Big donations coming in today. Thank you, Jason. Listen, I'm not a perfect guy. You don't have to be a perfect guy to be here. I just say, come on. If you're going to be here, be a real man. If you've got something you want to say it. And, don't insult me by thinking that you're doing me a favor by making a $2 donation or whatever. Make a $2 donation, of course. I mean, it's nice to see that little different colors, show up. That's wonderful. But the last thing we want to do is, think that we're doing somebody a favor by giving them $2, all right? I'm not addicted to fentanyl. I'm not addicted to crack. I'm not living on the street. This is very expensive stuff, just FYI. Not everybody can do this. Most people who are running meditation centers can't do this, can't teach about this stuff. So you're in a good position, all right? $100 donation. Who's going to make a $100 donation today? Who's going to make a $100 tithing today? Come on. I see you out there. I see you in the background. We've got young people in here. We've got young men and women in here. We want to set an example for them. Let's get $100 tithing today. It's better if you send it on PayPal, though, because it's just a good way. All right, Luke said, dealing with nicotine addiction. I did a short about this recently, Luke. You just have to drop it. You have to stop pretending that this is like a big deal or a big thing in your life. Just don't buy the next pack of cigarettes and just sit in your stupid house and your stupid life and don't smoke cigarettes for a day or two, and then it's done. Just like that. You're building up, you're creating the conditions to continue being addicted, right? So just don't do that. Don't buy the next pack. And because we believe in our egos so much, we believe in our identities so much, that we always have to be an addict in a story. You know what I mean? So just don't do that. Don't, especially vaping. Vaping is worse than smoking cigarettes, frankly. Vaping is a big deal, man. Gal, whoever you are. So you just, once you run out, don't buy another one. Go for a hike, whatever you do. For me, I'm kind of constantly on a hike. Doesn't mean that a hike won't be even better for me. So it can be easy to let go of those kinds of things. No, 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 no. The vaping is much worse than smoking. Because the biggest problem is for your mind. The biggest problem is not for your body. Your body's going to get sick and die anyway. People smoke for their entire lives, a pack a day, 2 packs a day, and they're 90 years old and they're just waiting to die. You know what I mean? They're fine. So it's not about your body. Your body is full of shit. Your body is bad. It's not good. We have to get rid of our bodies, right? But the problem is with your mind. That's where the real suffering comes from. So when you are constantly vaping like that, you're constantly feeding this feedback loop of desire and fear and craving. What does the Buddha say? Buddha was a smart dude. I'm not saying the Buddha is God or anything like that. But the Buddha was a smart guy, and he said, look, there's suffering and there's a reason for suffering. And the reason for suffering is because of desire. So now you have a medical device, right, that you're constantly using every 20 minutes, every 15 minutes, that's putting you in this cycle of desire. You're going to fuck yourself up quick. You know what I mean? Where does it lead to? I don't know, but it definitely leads to you being more ignorant and attached and just generally contracted, right? So it's easy. Just don't buy the next pack of cigarettes. Just don't buy a vape again. And then everybody needs to, I'm 16 years old. I was addicted to vaping. Here's my story on TikTok. You don't need to make a TikTok story. You don't need to make a video about it. You don't need to make your own personal documentary about it. Just live your shitty life and don't buy the next cigarette. And then come to join the live stream. Come to join the teaching. Listen, Luke, who the heck are you? You're here. You're interested in Buddhism, man. You're interested in real spirituality, man. You're a part of a congregation. You know, it's a little bit funny, but whatever. You're a part of a community that's serious about fucking enlightenment. And you know the guy who's leading that and who's teaching that, this dude was a Buddhist monk for 7 years. Try and find a TikToker. Try and find a person that runs a meditation center near you that was a Buddhist monk. So what I'm saying is you're a part of something deep and meaningful. And you just keep coming back to that and connecting with that. And it's, of course, it's funny too. I love comedy more than Nomad does. You know what I mean? I have better taste in comedy than Nomad does. You have to be okay with the teachings of the Buddha if you want to come here and fuck with me. Do you understand that? You're not going to come in here and act like we're in a personal relationship, Lucinda, when you're not even accepting the teachings of Buddha in the house of Buddha, in the kingdom of Buddha. This is suffering. That is suffering. Life is shit. I'm not here advertising. If anything, I'm here expressing my anger and my dysfunction. You know, some of the shorts that people see, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. I gave 7 years of my life to be a Buddhist monk, and, you know, what did it really grow to? What did it really develop to? I look at my teacher. My teacher's been living as a monk for 20 years and doing all this incredible work and trying to help so many people and make all these resources available for so many people. And who the hell has showed up to actually be a part of it? Basically nobody in terms of the West. So I am frustrated. You know what I mean? I am angry in a lot of ways. And these stupid kind of selfish, functioning alcoholic, you know, middle-aged women or whoever they happen to be, right? Go and fuck yourself, bitch. I mean, what do you think we're doing here? Why do you think that this has anything to do with you? It's like everybody lives this disassociated life where they neglect their kids, where they don't have any resonance or care at all for being compassionate or wise or looking deeply at anything. They're constantly offended. They're constantly angry. They're constantly greedy. They're constantly just fueling their own network of bullshit delusions. They're not offering anybody to anything except for their ignorance and their attachment and their dumb beliefs. And then they want to come in a place like this and pretend that everybody's like that. This isn't about you. And they come in here and they try to make this be about them. This is not about you, and it will never be. Everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody wants for this to be something that's bullshit, because everybody is afraid of their lives. They're afraid of themselves. They're afraid of their body. They're afraid of their mind. They're afraid of being vulnerable. And they're being programmed and conditioned to try and be some kind of influencer or celebrity, when nothing even comes out of that. The best thing that's going to come out of that is that you're a bulimic, disassociated, a girl, 14, 18-year-old girl, 20-year-old girl that's getting paid to make bullshit makeup advertisements on TikTok because you've convinced a lot of traumatized and disassociated teenage girls that you're somehow their friend. Okay? This is not based in your disassociated bullshit. This is not a place for you to legitimize your anger and your greed and your delusion and your tendency for self-importance. Period, Lucinda. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. You want to come in here, you want to be a part of this community, make a donation. All of this is happening through donations. The meditation retreats that we're going to run in the future, the meditation centers that we're likely to start in the future, all of this is through donations. And this will never have anything to do with you. This will never be about you. I can promise you that. Never has been, never will be. Don't be a dummy, Luke. And this ego that they hide behind and say, but I'm secretly a woman that really knows how to be nasty and make people feel nasty, is not even really there. They're just backing themselves up to looking more closely in the mirror. That's how they are with themselves. That's how they face themselves, with that nastiness. That's what's underneath the facade of them being this kind and generous person that takes care of things. They're evil, or they are consumed by evil. They are addicted to evil. They are addicted to ignorance and attachment. They're not really there, but we're working in a lot of different dimensions here. Okay? More than 24 hours, old player. And Espresso Jack, you're either... Listen, I'm going to be honest with Espresso Jack. I want everybody to bring their attention to Espresso Jack. There's only two options here. You are either dumb as fuck, or you're just a bullshit troll. You choose. There are literally only two options in what you're saying. And if you don't want to choose between that, being dumb as fuck or being a bullshit troll, then embody the middle way of awareness. Shut your fucking mouth, shut up your stupid brain, and listen. You may actually be able to learn something here. Nope, don't even play into it like that, Nico. Don't take the bait. I take the bait because I know how to remove hooks from my mouth. Come on, everybody, let's get a big $100 donation. I'm not talking to all the poor people in here. I'm talking to the wealthy people. I'm talking to those wealthy people that watch my live streams and they take and they take and they take and they never give. I'm not talking to our dear poor friends that I hold dearly in my heart. Come on. Do not make this about you interacting with the chat, okay? This is not about you interacting with the chat, nor is it about you interacting with anything at all. Returning to awareness, okay? We're not here to have discussions about things. It's like you go to a university lecture, okay? You go to a university lecture and you're actually interested to know about the teachings and what's going on and being informed. And then you're talking with, the local idiot who's wants to talk about their opinion on astrophysics and things like that. Do not engage, do not involve. Okay? No offense. This is not a university lecture on how to be a dumb bitch. Okay? Okay, Smoke. You call me on WhatsApp. We'll talk about that. We'll try to see what we can do for you. I'll give you some practices and some teachings to hopefully help you. Okay, looks like we might need to... So, as you are here, right, you must know as much about engaging and watching and keeping in touch with the chat as you know how to totally disengage, take your eyes off the screen. I'm still here with you to look down. To disengage, right? This is a teaching on disengaging. This is a teaching on detachment. This is not a teaching on how you interact with others. Thank you, Aaron. This is not a teaching on how to interact with others, okay? Just like this isn't a teaching on how to pretend that you were a Buddhist monk for 7 years. You are not me and I am not you, always and already. So don't get confused about that. Don't be in a state of confusion when it comes to that kind of thing. Yambangje zamayo ye, yambangje zamayo ye, yambangje zuwayo ye. All right, I need to adjust myself a little bit. Okay? I need to adjust myself a little bit. Pachama. It's not your business, Looney Crow. This is one of the things we really lose ourselves in, is we stick our nose into other people's asses and we wonder why our face stinks. You've got nothing to do with the monks or the Buddhists or the organization. And it's not just you, it's also people who are like Buddhist, who are supposed to be real Buddhists. And they take on this position of authority over what other people do. Don't take on a position of authority over what other people do. Just mind your own business. That's okay. I don't mind that, Looney. But no monks are going to talk to you about anything because you're just some random nobody. Why are the monks going to talk to you about stuff? Don't be crazy. Don't be a lunatic, all right? And I don't deserve any thanks. I'm as crazy as anybody else is. I'm the craziest one here. That's why I get all the support and all the donations, because people know ain't no other way I'm going to be able to take care of myself. Remember that you don't get to, or remember not to pretend to know about things that you don't know about. Okay? So for some of us, it seems pretty easy. But for some people, it's actually very difficult to not pretend that they don't know about things that they don't know about. So let's go back to our reading. Old player, if you want to donate and support, we'll make sure that that's possible, man. This is a problem that goes with a lot of people, right? Is that their intention to be generous is very limited. And that means that, it's like an all or nothing thing. If you want to make a donation, then I'll make arrangements so that the donation can be received. We'll work together to do that. Sure. Well, just figure out how I can make it happen, okay? Tell me what to do, old player. Message me on WhatsApp. Okay, so let's talk about restlessness. Let's talk about that sense and that feeling of restlessness. So when we are in this situation of restlessness, it kind of feels like there's something that we can do. There's something in particular that can be done. and for whatever reason, we're not doing it, right? So there's this potential to do something that we are currently not doing. And instead of getting yourself wrapped up in that potential, in that idea, restlessness is a kind of worry, right? Penetrate into, enter into the experience of what you're feeling right now already. Okay? And this is not about feeling good. That's why it's very difficult for a lot of people to make any kind of progress or development on the path, because they have this predisposed idea that this is about feeling good or appearing good. Right? Randall, shut up and listen. So to penetrate into the way that it is better than being restless. So when you notice that there's restlessness, when you feel that way, it's very unpleasant. It's a very worrisome experience, right? So stop trying to get that experience. And I just want to say to Sherry Blair Witch, I'm more powerful than any warlock you've ever met in your entire life. I'm sorry. I'm just an egoic person. Feel that suffering. Face the mind. Face the experience. Face the mind. Face this experience as it is. It's not like I'm in a room surrounded by Vietnamese women waiting to serve me and worshiping me and praying to me, right? In bikinis. It's not like that. It's not like I've got people, saying, Dr. Rob, I'd like to buy you gold bullion. I'd like to buy a gold chain for you to wear so that, if something happens, you can sell that anywhere you're at and you'll have some cash on hand. And in the meantime, you can wear this gold chain and you can express that there's a value here, that there's a truth here. It can be used as a teaching tool, right? Nobody's knocking on my door saying that, right? And not just that, I might be ugly. Some of the people here might be ugly. Some of the people here might be stupid. Some of the people here might have a tummy ache or other things going on in their lives, right? So we're not miraculously becoming Jake Paul or something like that, or becoming millionaires. There's a shittiness to life that is nourishing, that is nutritious. But many or most people do not dare to experience the shittiness that is here. So you have to dare to feel that way, because that restlessness or that worry is this kind of way of avoiding, way of getting away from, way of getting something that's going to be other than what is already here. So shit or suffering is just like dirt. And you need to acquaint yourself with the fact that dirt is not bad. Dirt is not wrong. Shit is not wrong. Suffering is not bad. It's your identification of suffering being bad that is making more and more bad feelings happening. Another teaching, another direction here is that you have to detach. You have to be willing to detach from your own understanding. Like, for example, Slopopotamus, if he's being sincere, if he's being real right now. Slopopotamus says, I quit smoking weed and I feel nothing but bad feelings. I quit smoking weed and I feel nothing but just fine. So this understanding brings about fineness. That understanding brings about feeling bad about not smoking weed. So you have to be open to abandoning or giving up or renouncing your own understanding. Your understanding in many cases doesn't work. My understanding in many cases doesn't work, especially in the past. There were a lot of situations and a lot of cases where my understanding didn't work. So I had to dare to detach, to abandon, to renounce my understanding, so that I could find and make use of something that actually works, to be free. Okay? When you can detach from yourself, when you can abandon your own understanding, you can take a load off. When you're here with the teacher, when you're here with your spiritual friend, when you're here with your buddy, to listen deeply and to share deeply and say, okay, all I've got to do is be here. I'm with my friend. I'm with my teacher. So some of these exercises that we can do. It's not really about forcing yourself to do anything. Forcing yourself to do uncomfortable things is coming from the same place that forces yourself to do pleasurable things. What you have to be open to now, which is all that you've got, we have to stop pretending that this is a Netflix video or that this is a recorded video or something like that. This is live, okay? This is now, not just for me, but also for you, in all the ways that it can be. So we have to stop bullshitting and disassociating from that fact. That your capacity to have an open mind, to me, is my capacity to reach you or connect with you, like a strong or weak Wi-Fi connection. Okay? Now the ego goes from recognizing how wrong its understanding is to now trying to make up some kind of authoritative, boilerplate, standard belief, then to believe in again. So the ego is broken, the self is broken. That's what the suffering teaches you. My mind, myself, my ego, my way of thinking, my way of understanding is broken. It doesn't work the way that I want it to work, period. That gives us this place and this situation and this experience to stop thinking about things and to be aware of the way that it is now, to feel it, to feel your body, to feel your experience, not to need to think about a bunch of stuff right now. I don't need to think about a bunch of stuff right now, and my life isn't perfect. I just described, didn't I? That nobody's knocking on my door saying, you know what? You're an incredible spiritual teacher. If you want that iPhone 17 Pro Max, I'm going to get it for you. I'm not saying anybody has to do that, but that's what I'd like. Isn't that what we'd all like? For iShowSpeed to be knocking on our door saying, hey, I love you. I want you to connect with the youth through my platform. So life isn't the way we want it to be. And it doesn't need to be for you to be aware of and to be with what is real now. And what is real now is not just your nonstop thinking about things. It's a kind of directness of experience that is undescribable, that's unexplainable, that's not based in your thoughts about your life. It's like a chance Where we need trust and faith to do this, especially for the young men or the men who are dealing with failure to launch syndrome, which is a lot more common than you think that it is. People are just ashamed to share what's going on with them, with themselves, right? You have to have the trust and faith to just go for a walk like a child would go for a walk with their dad or with their mom into the forest. You don't need to think about anything right now, man. You don't need to deal with your life. You don't need to manage your life right now. You don't need to be involved with all these random fucking idiots in the chat. And you don't even need to think about it that way. That's a trap other people get into. Yeah, those people are stupid. You're the stupid one for thinking that, man. It's me and you. Nobody else can see you. Nobody else can hear you. Even myself, in my own inner mind, no one else can know that inner mind. I know that. That's why people can't make fun of me. That's why people can't manipulate me. That's why people can't bully me. That's why toxic trolls will run away. Because of the light in the mind. The light in the mind that's based on not needing to compulsively think about things. The reason you're addicted to smoking weed or cigarettes, the reason you're addicted to drinking alcohol, the reason that you're addicted to smoking crack is because you believe that you have to constantly think about things. You need to feel. Because the deeper teaching or the wisdom here, the enlightenment here, is something that's not separate from anyone and nobody is higher or lower in relationship to. You have to exercise your willingness to listen. Your willingness to listen will allow you to not think, to see how unnecessary it is for you to think. The unnecessariness of your thinking. That's profound, man. That's deep, man. You got to let things be deep again. You got to be curious again. You have to have this kind of openness and wonder again. That life can be wonderful, not just fucking hell. Right? And then we get some weird idea, oh, I'll go to Thailand and I'll be at the bar and I'll be by the beach and life will be wonderful. That's as fucking horrible as anything can be. This wonderfulness, this awe, this wonder, this curiosity is the whole world exploding right here and now. That there is no way for you to do anything in the past. There's no way for you to do anything in the future. There's not really any way for you to do anything at all. There's no need for you to do anything at all. As much as you have, I have, then lost that openness is the teaching. As much as you can put down I have, or I don't have, or I whatever, openness is all that there is. The immediacy of openness. We forgot that we can have real friends. We forgot that we can have real teachers. We forgot that everybody is not just another version of ourselves sitting in a basement somewhere masturbating. Okay? Doesn't mean I'm God, doesn't mean I'm some fucking schizophrenic spiritual lunatic. It means I'm just another human being who can be a friend on the path that's not trying to sell you anything. Okay? You're not my friend, I'm your friend. Learn to take a joke. If you spent many months in Bangkok decades ago, Then where are your donations, Drac? Why do your comments sound like you're a 25-year-old basement dweller? Nobody ever taught you? Your granddaddy never taught you put your money where your mouth is? That's why these people aren't trustworthy. We can't trust these kinds of people. You're trustworthy according to how generous you are, how willing you are to give. I gave you my last $5. Well, you know what? Maybe that's not such a good idea, and maybe that doesn't have anything to do with me. All right? What am I going to do with $5 anyway? Let's get real. Gratitude is like humbleness. When I receive a major donation, or when I experience a relationship with someone based on generosity, and I get the impact of that, or someone expresses that in a certain kind of way, okay, I feel humbled. When's the last time you felt humbled by generosity? Like an impact, like a meteor hitting you. And the stupidity of people in the modern world and the selfishness and the greed of them is this belief that them throwing nickels and dimes towards, it's a belief that your sentiment is valuable. Your sentiment has very, 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 very little value to you. You throw your sentiment around everywhere. You're constantly consuming. You're constantly watching TikTok. You're constantly saying, I like this, I don't like that. Your sentiment is not valuable. It's when you put your money where your mouth is. It's when you put your time where your attention is. Instead of being some kind of disassociated zombie that just eats at a buffet and doesn't know what they're eating. Gratitude for me is humbleness through generosity. Do you know how I'm able to work with a lot of people and how I'm able to be open to a lot of people? It's because I don't want anything to do primarily with anybody. So I can meet people through generosity. My worst nightmare in the world is when I go somewhere to give a teaching or to work with somebody or whatever it is. Maybe I just need a place to stay in a certain place of the world. And now somebody is in a state of belief that we are in an interpersonal relationship based on their expectations about me. You know what that's going to trigger in me? Emotional defiant disorder or behavioral defiant disorder. You expect me to wake up at this time? I'm going to be asleep. You expect me to be happy and joyful? I'm going to be sad and depressed. You see what I'm saying? It's not sustainable to build relationships through interpersonal ideas about each other. I, first of all, am not somebody, but if I am anybody, I'm always changing. And I never know what's going to happen or how I'm going to feel or what tomorrow is going to be. Someone came up to me the other day and they tried to show me, are you going to go visit this temple? Are you going to go visit this temple? I almost beat the living hell out of them. I almost threw them out the window. Trying to implant thoughts into my mind, into my brain. Leave me alone. To say that to our thoughts and beliefs and ideas and stories. To say that to our desire. To say that to our fear. Now, it doesn't mean that we justify our anger or we justify being a shitty person. That's not what it's about. But it's about this willingness to say no to you and I and self and other, and past and future, and good and bad, and right and wrong. It's this willingness to say no to duality and then meet each other through generosity. That's safe, that's reliable. Now, in the midst of all that, and this is why a lot of people, a lot of young men especially, can be confused, there is no idealism anywhere. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank account. There is no ideal situation. There is no ideal experience. You don't get to be happy. You don't get to be fulfilled. You don't get to be a celebrity. You don't get to be wealthy. It's a show. It's a portrayal. It's an expression of underlying suffering. That's it. Life hurts. Life sucks. Life stinks. And not in a good way. That is the unsatisfactoriness. So, what are we going to do about that? Well, first of all, let's not be dummies. Second of all, let's be open to listening. Third of all, let's be open to letting go of thoughts. Fourth of all, let's be willing to not do anything. Be willing to not do anything, or just open your perspective about that. Be willing to not do anything. Be willing to not be anyone. Be willing to not be anywhere. Be open to not filling in the space, not filling in the gaps. Now, how much are we talking about in this Solana donation? Old player. Are we talking about a big donation? Are we talking about a small donation? This feels shitty. This feels bad. This hurts. Let it hurt. Let the hurt dissolve you. Let the hurt dissolve seeking. Okay, that's great. Well, let's see if I can set that up on my tablet. People donate in all kinds of different ways through Revolut. Let's ask Perplexity. Perplexity tends to know about this kind of stuff. It's a celebration when people give. It's a celebration when people practice generosity. People who are selfish are offended by generosity. And if they're offended by generosity, they're in the wrong place. They are dangerous individuals. Just like people who are generous are like recognized less than dangerous or generally less than dangerous individuals. Perplexity, are you there? Initiate Outback Crocodile Dundee voice mode.
All right, mate. G'day, mate.
I want to first begin by, I want you to convey a message from me to Old Player saying that, depending on how many digits are in your Solana account, don't be shy to make this first donation a 4-digit donation. Say that in a Crocodile Dundee kind of way. But don't be too forceful, because we don't want to scare this guy off. We might be looking at a future donor. But that first donation makes a big statement. It makes a big impact, not just for me, not just for you, but for this community and for Solana as a whole.
Righto. Here's how I put it. G'day, mate. Listen, reckon it all depends on how many digits you've got in that Solana account. No worries, though. Don't be shy to make that first donation a 4-digit one. It's not about pushing too hard. We don't want to scare you off. But that first step, it's a ripper. It makes a real impact, not just for me, not just for you, but for the whole Solana community.
That's beautiful. Now, I need a little bit of support because I want to make sure that it's clear. How can I receive a Solana donation? I've never been on the Solana network before, so what should I do here?
No worries. I've got you covered, mate. First thing you'll need is a Solana wallet. There are a few popular ones. Phantom's a top pick, or Soulflare, or even Trust Wallet. You download the wallet app or extension, set it up by creating an address. That's your public key, where people can send you funds.
But I've got
sure
like
you
a PayPal, I've got like a Revolut account, I've got stuff like that. I mean, can't I receive Solana through there?
Not exactly, mate. Solana is a blockchain network, so it's different from PayPal or Revolut. You need a crypto wallet that's compatible with Solana. Once you've got that wallet set up, you'll have a Solana address. That's what people use to send you Solana
Okay,
directly.
Soulflare. I'm going to use Soulflare. And CJ, are you making a commitment as well?
Mate, I can't make any commitments for anyone else, including CJ.
Okay.
But sounds like you're on the right track with setting up
All right.
Soulflare.
I really like what you said with all right, come on. Make it a ripper, mate. Let's make today a ripper. Okay, we're going to go to the Play Store. It's going to be a hassle. It's going to be a headache, isn't it? Soulflare. Let's see if Soulflare has an app. And this is an important part of the work here, everybody. It's not just lofty thinking, it's practical stuff like this, where we're building up a network of donors, we're building up a network of people who take this seriously. Then we can make a meditation center at one point. We can do retreats and stuff like that. We're just building up, okay? Because I don't have that much need for money, but building up this network of generosity is definitely a big deal. And useful for everybody. You know, generosity doesn't have anything to do with money. It's just that a lot of us are living in a money world, and it's very useful, and it's a very potent way for us to exchange energy. And it's a very potent way for us to surrender attachment. Like to say fuck you to attachment is to make that 3-digit donation a 4-digit donation. Well, CJ, I'm going to have to send you an invoice because I'm downloading Soulflare, and now you're saying you better use Coinbase. I'm going to get Coinbase. And so people say, you know, well, what about me? Why can't I get some donations? Because you're not practicing generosity. You know what I mean? You're not making an example of being generous in any meaningful way. And I'm not saying that so that we can have a conversation about it. I'm just saying, you know, it's what it is. Okay, we're signing into Coinbase, everybody. But I've been out of, you know, I've been largely out of the US for coming up on 8 years since 2018, so okay, looks like we're in Coinbase. We just need to confirm. $170,485. 170,485. Okay. These crypto guys. Verify. Continue. Get started. Yeah, any kind of donations that you want to make is good. Do it. It's a good idea. If I was to do this work and this begging in the streets, I would be attacked for sure. It would not be possible to do this physically, like in the streets of New York or what have you. Okay, we're in Coinbase. Instant notice, skip for now. It says I've got 37 bucks in here already. Let's make those 3 digits 4 digits. Come on. How do I do this? I'm looking at Coinbase, everybody. How do I get Solana? Well, Jeffrey Orton, I mean, living in Asia for 3 years doesn't really mean anything. Only give out your public key. Okay. We're going to talk about that fractal. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome here, Jeffrey. I mean, but that's also a part of Buddhism, is that the monks live on donations. Generosity is not a dirty word in America, in Asia, or in the Buddhist, with the Buddhist perspective. Come on, everybody. I'm going to lose this guy. How do I get my Solana key? We're on a time. Solana's down 5%. We got to get it back up. Transfer, receive, right? Receive crypto. Okay, receive on the Solana. I've got my address. It says receive SOL on the Solana network. Okay, I've got it. All right, here we go. Hopefully we haven't lost this guy. Literal. Sometimes I watch dumb YouTube videos. Never leads anywhere. Dumb YouTube video. Look at this guy. Okay, this is my Solana key. Does it work? Old player, you got it? Let's see what kind of time an old player is going. That's always the dream, right? I think a lot of us have had that dream that we would have a best friend, or we'd meet somebody who was a crypto millionaire or crypto billionaire, and then we'd live our lives on the power of friendship. But I think that really wealth corrupts. You know what I mean? And that's why generosity is so important, to prevent the corruption of wealth. And I usually talk to people and I say, you know, in terms of generosity and them, like for young men, building themselves up because they have this big idea, they want to be very wealthy, that them making money is going to kind of solve all their problems, right? And I say, look, that's fine, but you should match your generosity along with your wealth. So as you become more wealthy, you should also become more generous. 20 cents. It says transaction data is temporarily unavailable. Crypto. Ah, we got it, baby. 20 cents, Solana, we are now an investor. Well, Slopopotamus, you have to work with your mind. You working 6 days a week or the way that you live your life is just normal. That's normal to you, it's normal to a lot of people. But the way that you're dealing with your mind is wrong. So while you're working in a normal way, you're also working in an abnormal way with your mind, based on greed, based on anger, based on delusion. We're going to find out, Kairasa, if this is generosity or not. Generosity is I'm channeling, I want to talk like it. Generosity is, I want to talk like that guy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Generosity is about detachment. So it's like detachment, it's like the willingness, establishing yourself in the willingness to detach. And then eventually maybe you'll get lucky. And you'll see through the veil of self, the veil of ego. All right, everybody, we've just received $1 million. Okay, thank you very much, brother, old player. No, I appreciate you. Appreciate your generosity. Should I hold or should I sell? I'm now an investor. That's in fact one of my favorite comments that I received is somebody said, you wouldn't need donations if you didn't spend all your money on wigs and hats. And I really appreciated that. Yeah, 100%, Maz Lord. 100%. So 20 cents might be quite a substantial amount for someone in poverty. So their generosity is an act of self-sacrifice. We're already up 0.06%. I don't really believe in money that way, and it may come up that I eventually, if I have enough support, that I get like buy an apartment in Vietnam or buy a property somewhere or receive a property or something like that is possible, but I don't really think about the future in that way. And so the money doesn't have much practical use for me. But friends sure do. And I love the idea, I love the dream of, being in community and helping others and planting things and, like co-living. And I'm trying to make myself into a person that's really able to be a leader when it comes to community living and community projects, and to kind of set a solid, stable ground for not being a lunatic and being able to organize people into, living together and working together and supporting each other. Yeah, gold is awesome. I wish I had a bunch of gold. Good night, Jason. This is not an investment live stream. Enough. Okay, Donnie says, if you feel the suffering without attaching, does it teach you less, if that makes sense? There's no you attaching or not attaching. Just feel what's there as it is. without being carried away by it, without being confused by it. Okay? And let's get some big W's in the chat for our new friend, he's not my friend, I just want his money. Sorry, I sneezed. Let's get some big W's in the chat for our new friend, Old Player. Big donation, 3-digit donation from Old Player coming in. And we really appreciate that, brother. It feels good. It feels warm. And we're going to pass that along. We're not just going to keep that to ourselves. And let's get some W's for Mint Chip Mocha with a name that matches the color of the $5 donation. It's a great day. It's a special day, isn't it? And what does that mean? You know, does that mean we are building a cult of celebrating people who donate to me? Doesn't sound too bad. But anyways, the idea is that we are celebrating generosity. Because you know that you're not going to get anything back from me. So we're celebrating giving in a non-transactional way. You know I don't sell anything. I don't care what you give. The more you give, the farther I'm going to run away from you. The more I'm going to be hidden away from you. You see what I'm saying? So it's a good ways that we're building up our shared sentiment. And this idea that teachers aren't allowed to exist, and that virtuous people aren't allowed to exist, and that wise people aren't allowed to exist, and that generosity is a scam, and that, you know, that these kinds of things, we don't believe in those kinds of things, so we're just going to let that go. And Fractal Elf has nothing to give. But you did ask a good question, right? Oh, thank you, Old Player. All right, Maw's Lord says, so if a part of generosity is self-sacrifice and detachment from the giver, how does it apply to friendships? Could you explain that for us? Well, it's not necessarily detachment on the side of the giver. The giver is expressing a willingness to renounce, or a willingness to abandon, or a willingness to let go. Because you might make a donation and then say, wait a minute, I want that money back. Or you give somebody a phone and then you say, wait a minute, I want that phone back. So it doesn't mean that you are detached, or that you're even expressing detachment through that donation. It just means that you're willing to let go conditionally. Detachment is unconditional letting go of not someone. How detachment relates to relationships, because the relationship is between two people, right? So it means it's a relationship built on non-expectational giving. Now, in a relationship, that's kind of impossible. That's why we set up barriers. You know, that's why just because you make a donation doesn't mean that you get to come and lay in bed with me, or that, you know, somehow my life and everything about me belongs to you, because we have these kind of barriers between different selves. So when you have this relationship or friendship built on generosity, it means you have a friendship based on a willingness to let go of what comes up. You can take that to a very deep level. You can be in that way in a very shallow level. But really, the relationship that you're in is the relationship that you're in with yourself. Always. It doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? So feel that nauseation. Feel that experience. And this generosity as well, this is why detachment and relationships don't necessarily, it's not a direct correlation, because generosity, as it relates to detachment, or let's say true generosity or non-relationship based generosity, non-transactional generosity, has nothing to do with the desire of the giver or the receiver. That's where you get closer to the detachment. So I try to communicate that as close to the board as I can. But the only option to not have bias in that is to like not desire good cappuccino rather than bad cappuccino. You know what I mean? So there is bias in it. I'd rather receive a $100 donation than I would to be tortured, right? So there is bias in that. And then when you're, let's say like an arahat, or you're fully purified, your mind is fully purified, then you don't desire anything, you just have like preferences, but you don't really care if it works out this way or if it works out that way. I just met Batan through his Discord, Menchant Mocha. I met Kai Cenat through his Discord as well. So when you create a foundation like this, the building potential is just incredible. Like what this can be used for even now is incredible. It's really amazing. Whereas when you build this kind of persona as like a Kai Cenat or an Aisho Speed, or as an entertainer, or as someone who wants to be the spiritual teacher and wants to do this certain kind of thing, right? It's very, very limited. So our lack of want is a potentiality for blessings. Just like how your want or your desire for the mango tree to grow more quickly is irrelevant to the mango tree growing. It's irrelevant, Nico. Use mekyo. Irrelevant. Allow the objects to disappear while the mind remains. Okay? What are we going to do about this? Well, we don't have to do anything about this. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything about what you're experiencing right now. So breathe into that. Feel into that. Experience into that. That there's nothing that you need to do about this right now. There's nothing that you need to do right now. So we can just close our eyes sometimes if we'd like to, instead of being depressed and confused and just closing our eyes and connecting with our breathing. Just being and being aware of what's happening, what appears to be happening. Who cares if it's really happening or not? Who cares if our thought is right or wrong? Who cares if our past is what it seems to be or our future is what it could be? Just drop all that stuff and go into being willing to just be. And feel it deeply, that suffering, that hole, that emptiness, or that fullness, that pleasantness or that unpleasantness, oftentimes neutral, that neutral feeling. Go right into it. Breathe into it. Breathe through it. Let your story collapse into direct experiencing, into direct looking, direct seeing, direct hearing, direct feeling through breathing. Use the breathing. Use the breathing as a tool to come back, to remain, to look deeply, to stay close with what's happening instead of being stuck in the compulsive thinking. And when that compulsive thinking comes up and says, hey, you're supposed to be thinking, breathe in the brightness of being awake and aware. Don't just let that thinking intimidate you or manipulate you or impress upon you. Just because people are saying stuff in the chat doesn't mean you need to look at it. What are you really here for? To just keep getting carried around by thoughts and words and phrases? That's not what I'm here for. Fuck that. I want to live. I want to breathe. I want to be free, period. No matter what. Who cares if people take this seriously or people take this as a joke? I don't care how other people take this. This is my body, this is my mind, this is my life. That's your body, that's your mind, that's your life. Feel it, man. It's not like this is an easy ride. It's not like you had it made. It's not like the past was easy. It's not like the future is going to be easy. It's not like this is easy. So stop this need for easiness and go into the way that it is. The unfolding, the exploring, the unknownness of the way that it is right now, as it is. Whoa, Solana just dropped by 0.5%. We're down 50 cents. You guys want to see my Coinbase wallet? You guys want to see my assets on Coinbase? Hack me. Good. Be refreshed. Refresh and restart. Begin again. Okay, do we have any final questions, final comments, final offerings or donations? Good. Be surprised. Be surprised. All right, Lark. That's what I like to hear. All right, everybody, let's get some big W's in the chat. Okay, Mr. Parker, good question. So Mr. Parker says, can you help me understand the teaching of no thoughts or no views juxtaposed with right view and right intention? Thank you. Really, it is a teaching on non-dependence. So right view does not depend on views. Right intention does not depend on intentions. Nibbana does not depend on conventional reality. And yet, intention, views, thoughts arise in this awareness or this mindfulness and detachment. So in this original truth, there is no dependency on anything. Then you go down one, you go into nama and rupa, you go into mentality and physicality. Mentality and physicality depend upon this original truth. Then you break down into the materiality and the mentality, right? So you break down into mental actions, physical actions, and it goes down and down, right? So they depend on nama and rupa. So it's kind of, in a certain way, it's a matter of right view and right intention cancel themselves out. They don't leave remainders. They don't leave marks. Like the right eightfold path, right, is right because it leads to cessation. Yes or no? The right path, the right eightfold path is right because it leads to pathlessness. You see? So that's what it comes down to, and then it's very much about what you can resonate with, and yeah, finding a good teacher, connecting with a good teacher. I mean, it's like a child having a good parent, you know, and we put ourselves into this box where we're not allowed to have a teacher, we're not allowed to connect with anyone deeply, we're not allowed to, you know, in my case, we're not allowed to have students. We're not allowed to be a part of a community. All we're allowed to do is watch YouTube videos and think about things on our own. And it just doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? So be open and be deep-minded and put more proper valuation on where you give your attention. And don't just use your moment of awareness of where you are now as a reason to create some kind of delusional justification of why you're watching this and what's going on. Really look at you looking at something. Really look at how you are involved with things and what things you're involved with. And don't take it lightly, because everything that you're involved with is going to have a meaningful impact on your life. Until you're no longer a pathogen, that is. And then it's smooth sailing, I guess. Okay, thank you, Mint Chip. It's great to see that color, that's that $5 buck, a mint $5 buck. Who wouldn't want one of those? But do you like making donations? That's the thing. Everybody likes having an ego, but do they like making donations? And the amount of your donations is not about the status of the person you're donating to. It is your own account. How much money do you have in that account? You have a big bucks. You need to make big donations to make a big impact in your own selfishness. There's no way to get around it. You're the son of a Russian oligarch, make it known. Take a stand. Be righteous in giving. Be righteous in donating. Be righteous in cutting through that ego. Please make your donations through crypto, through Revolut, through other money services. If you make your donation through YouTube, YouTube takes 30%. Yeah, well, that's okay. Whatever it is, let it be okay. Well, it's just a matter of you being a crypto person, and then I can send you my crypto account. That one guy, Raf, you better watch your mouth. It's not just me here. I got plenty of followers here who are ready to defend me. You watch the way you talk here. You watch what you say here. This is my flock. This is my congregation. These are my sheep. I am their shepherd. You think you're going to come in here and spit poison and nobody's going to pull your card? I'll pull your card. I will go towards the weapon. I will go towards the firing. I will protect my sheep. Don't talk like that, Randall. We're not just talking about sending a few bucks on YouTube. We're not just talking about sending a few dollars on PayPal. We're not just talking about sending a few Solana coins. We're talking about making major donations of gold bullion. We're talking about making major donations of precious metals. We're talking about donating properties. donating buildings, donating structures, donating land. We're talking about donating motor vehicles. We're talking about international work and international travel. Okay? I am not your high school friend who's a couple houses down the block in the next cul-de-sac masturbating in my basement. This is a big deal. We're talking about big pockets and big men and big women and big people doing big things. You better believe it. Okay? This is a spiritual movement. This is a spiritual situation. And I will not be intimidated. I will not be cow-tailed. I don't know that I'd be comfortable to be on a mega yacht. I'm not going to refuse it. Private donors, please reach out through WhatsApp at +1 443 987 6521. No, private donors don't want to do WhatsApp, that's too personal. Private donors, please reach out through email. Email at bantevp@gmail.com. We'll make arrangements, okay? We'll make arrangements to receive your donations. Yeah. Anyways. What does it mean to donate? We can go deeply into our mind, right? When we start talking about putting your money where your mouth is. What does it mean to donate? Why would I donate anyway? What's going on here? Am I being manipulated? Am I being manipulated by this man, by this person? What's going on here? You can't go deeply into the mind like that at the flip of a switch unless you have this investment, unless you have this seriousness, this taking this seriously. And this is what it takes. That self-sacrifice, that surrender, that vulnerability to go deeply into the mind. What's going on here? You either can be a spectator or you can step into the ring of self-sacrifice. Honestly, I don't care. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. I'd rather have a condo in Shanghai. And even then, what do you think that's going to look like? What do you think that's going to be like? A condo in Shanghai with a big bathtub. You think your life's going to be solved? No. That's not real life. That's not how it works. You have to start looking at the suffering within yourself. That's not about anybody or anything, but just the desire itself, the fear itself, the seeking itself, the avoiding itself. The Buddha taught that you are not someone. Why the hell isn't that word? See, that anger, it comes up in subtle ways, right? It comes up in subtle ways. This is 100%. You've got to be vulnerable here. You have to be ready to be slapped. You have to be ready to be hurt. You have to be ready to go through deeper suffering. Otherwise, you're not going to be willing to face the suffering that's already here. And this kind of, make donations, I don't have a need. I don't have much of a need. Whatever happens in my life is going to be okay. I'm sure about that. But there is a great need. Not just in you, but in many beings, many peoples around the world. And it's not going to take a specific dollar amount for you to fix that, as if you even could come up with that dollar amount. It's going to take your willingness to be generous, period. Without understanding, without explaining, without there being some kind of thing that you're going to get on the back end of that generosity. That is what the world needs. Your willingness to do good deeds, foregoing transaction. Now, if that doesn't make you donate, I don't know what will. We're talking about the Buddha. We're talking about mindfulness and detachment. We're talking about practicing generosity as a way to create an energy of willingness to detach and willingness to abandon. We're talking about the reality that we're not sitting in a room together, so we have to surrender, we have to act on, we have to give out the mind of attachment to put ourselves into a position, to give out the mind of attachment, to put ourselves into a position of, in a position of vulnerability and surrender. We're talking about non-duality plus. We're talking about Zen, Buddhism, the real Zen teachings. We're talking about the path of generosity, mindfulness, cultivation of willingness to detach, the whole shebang, freedom in the here and now. Letting out the beast of forgiveness. What's that do? That looks good. Tibetan Mongolian throat singing, scratchy voice, funky Korean chanting, old school harmonics, singing bowls, and mountain yodeling from the Scottish Highlands. What's with your lack of donations, Prince Royal? What's with your lack of regular donations? New song just dropped. Let's listen to it together. Hey!
We're chasing shadows, holding air, grasping at nothing, it's not there. A room that's empty, yet so full. Paradox, to push, to pull. Let go of the grip, open your hands, free your mind. Generosity flows like a stream, it bends. Detachment grows where the giving ends. A thought unspoken, a heart unchained. In silence we lose, in loss we gain. Mindfulness hums a quiet drum. Surrender whispers, calm undone. To become one, then none at all. The walls dissolve, the ego falls. Non-duality, a gentle breeze. It bends the branches, calms the seas. Let go of the grip, let it unwind. Open your hands, free your mind. Generosity flows like a stream, it bends. Detachment grows where the giving ends. We're not here yet, here we stay. Surrender finds a brighter way. Empty the cup, let it refill the reels and teaching. Soft and still. We're chasing shadows, holding air, grasping at nothing, it's not there. A room that's empty, yet so full. Paradox, to push, to pull. Let go of the grip, let it unwind. Open your hands, free your mind. Generosity flows like a stream, it bends. Detachment grows where the giving ends. The thought unspoken, a heart unchained. In silence we lose, in loss we gain. Mindfulness hums a quiet drum. Surrender whispers, calm undone. To become one, then none at all. The walls dissolve, the ego falls. Non-duality, a gentle breeze. It bends the branches, calms the seas.
It's a long ass song. It's a long song, but I love that. That's great, huh? That's incredible, right? Are you still here, Prince Royal? You still got your wallet open? Let's turn the weirdness up a little bit. And let's turn the style influence up quite a lot. See what we can do there. Okay, I will check. Lee, that's nice, Lee. Okay, Prince. Let's see. Let's make sure we've got Prince's ego being met here. Rob, I have a question for you. It's Dr. Rob to you, Prince. Dr. Rob, I have a question for you. How can someone be at ease when he or she realizes that a lot of the suffering going on is deliberate? That doesn't actually mean anything. That's just confusion, Prince. That's just confusion. So when we're in a state of confusion, or when we're in a state of complicated thinking, let's say, we have to release that. So the descriptions of suffering or the thinking about the unpleasantness, it's not helping anybody. It's not helping you, it's not helping the people of the world that are suffering. So you are deliberately causing more suffering by potentiating thoughts about unsatisfactoriness rather than facing that unsatisfactoriness as it is right here and right now. Okay, we're making miracles happen, everybody. Cities are expressing themselves, right? Y'all heard about that? Grasping at nothing, it's not there. A room that's empty, yet so full. A paradox to push, to pull. Let it unwind. Open your hands, free your mind. Generosity flows like a stream, it bends. Detachment grows where the giving ends. A heart unchained, in silence we lose, in loss we gain. Mindfulness hums a quiet drum. Surrender whispers, some undone. Whoa. Here we stay. Surrender finds a brighter way. Empty the cup, let it refill. The risen teaching soft and still. Yamanga, Yovinga, Yomanga, Yovinga, Yobada, Yobaga, I tell you what, you get the ayahuasca here, buddy. You don't need to go to Peru. All these people who are saying, well, I'd rather save my money for this ayahuasca ceremony. Buddy, you're getting your ayahuasca right here. If you're opening up that mind-to-mind experience, there's plenty of DMT to go around here. Okay? Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, we brew our own ayahuasca here at Dr. Rob Farms. Instead of thinking about things, instead of managing your situation in some way, just be in a state of noticing. Just breathing, relaxing, noticing. It doesn't need to be you that's doing anything. Just the noticing is enough. Feel the spookiness. Don't be spooked by the spookiness. Not in a hurry, not in a rush. Not figuring something out, okay? Nate, I am not the practitioner, I am the teacher, my brother, my friend, okay? We're almost at 100 likes, everybody. Who's going to get that 100th like? We're almost at 100 likes and 200 minutes. This is going to be a big deal. Come on, 97 likes. Let's get those big donations of the movement of your finger to the like button. Come on, you can do it, everybody. 2 more likes. Who's going to get that 100th like? Who's going to be number 100? Whoa, who was it? Who got it? Who got the 100th like? Okay, let's get ready for the countdown for the 200-minute mark. Let's get ready for the 200-minute mark countdown. Are you ready? Here we go. 60, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Here we go. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Come on. 7, 6, 5, 4. This is it. 3, 2, 1. W's in the chat, everybody. 200 minutes live. 200 minutes live, everybody. Come on. Everybody, big W's in the chat. I want to see everybody showing their voice. Don't you ever come in here high and mighty ever again, Prince Royal. All right, Ricky, Nico, Yogi, Mint, Cerulean, Abhijit, Chanath. Come on, everybody. Let me see you. W's in the chat. Let's see everybody now. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining for our live streamed Dharma teaching here today. I hope to see you again very soon. Blessings, love, light. If you came in here later on, the first hour of the stream is very much a more classical and traditional Dharma teaching of Zen. So you can go back to the beginning of the live stream if you like. Thank you all for being here. May you be happy, may you be peaceful. Thank you for all of the donors and everybody who takes this seriously and gets benefit from it. Whatever benefit that we get from this gathering, may we share those blessings and those benefits out towards all beings. May we remember that anger is a poison, greed is a poison, non-practical, complicated thinking is a poison, and really be willing to let go. Okay? Bye, everybody. Thank you. Mwah. 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 See you again soon. Bye-bye.